Welcome, my fellow. The new PMP exam. I know lots of you have already abandoned ship. It's okay. I got the map. Very briefly. I'm at the top of the waves, where this new syllabus is going, and some things that you need to be aware of. It's going to go very quick. So get a piece of paper, or open a notepad, and let's traverse. My name's Phil Akinwale, and I will be your host and your colleague, taking you through the information that will help get you up to speed with what is happening on this new exam. Today, we've got a very ambitious task. Within a few minutes, we are going to talk about the question types on the new exam, the PMBOK 8, a little reminder about Agile and Scrum, and a whirlwind tour of the three domains of people, process, and business. People, 33% of the exam, process 41%, and business 26%. The exam has changed a little bit, as you can see from this extract from the PMP Exam Content Outline. We have 170 scored questions, 10 preset questions, and a total of 180 questions to be answered in 240 minutes. Bright people in the class, how many hours is that? 4 hours. That's right. So the allotted time to complete the exam is 4 hours. It may take you less. For the PMP exam, there are 2 10-minute breaks. Please plan your breaks wisely and make sure you don't do what I did on my exam, blowing past time like it didn't exist. I could only get 20 questions done in my first hour. You definitely don't want that to happen to you. All right, there's the breakdown. People, 33% of the exam. You've got 8 tasks. Process, you've got 41% of the exam. The most ferocious, everyone cries about. And now PMI has thrown a curveball in there. For those of you who need to study more business, you got 26% of the exam. And I think it's a very worthy add up. To get it from 8% to 26 is very important. And that shows you the value in being business oriented. Taking a look at the question types, my friends, on the exam, we have a smattering of new questions. And just at a very quick glance, we have the foreboding case scenario, multi-paragraph scenarios, followed by multiple questions. And this could include graphs and charts and visuals. Then we've got graphic-based. Candidate needs to interpret the charts, the graphs, the diagrams, or RTM tables, then answers questions. We have the good old multiple choice, single answer, multiple response, select all. And then we also have enhanced matching, point and click. And for those CBT only, matching pull down list. I'll give you a very quick visual of these so you understand. This is the case or scenario, and if we zoom in, you can see the sheer volume of text. So I know there was a lot of complaints on the previous exam that you thought the exam questions were long, and then that went away after 2021, 2022. But now you are going to have to face very big paragraphs and very quickly summarize what you've read and answer questions like this. So very short answers, but very long paragraphs. You're also going to get enhanced matching, as you can see here. You're going to match one part of the diagram to some of these movable boxes. As you can see here, where is the curve ahead of schedule? You got to look for your SV indicators or your AC and your PV. You got to know all that stuff and you got to be able to interpret the graph. So this is not going to be a cakewalk. And this is why many people have been rushing to take the exam today. We also have the graphic based question, as you can see, multiple choice, single response, multiple response, and point and click, as you can see on the screen. And then we also have the good old drag and drop. And these could be very tricky, especially when you're short of one box and you got to decide which one am I going to put in. It could be very tricky. You also have pull down list. So the major differences, apart from the questions, are that the PMBOK 8th edition is the sheriff in town. You have 7 performance domains as opposed to 10 knowledge areas. You have 5 focus areas as opposed to the language we use, process groups. And you have 40 processes as opposed to 49. Talking about the performance domains just very quickly, I'll go through them. And if you want to read more about this or watch videos, go to the Praizion channel because I've started a series addressing each one. Governance is all about a framework within which authority is exercised at different levels. Scope is all about scoping out the project, just like a telescope analogy. Telescopes make things clearer, right? The schedule is all about time management. Finance is all about the money, the cash flow to run the project and to effectively manage the cost on the project. We have stakeholder management, resource management, and risk management. So 3 of these areas have gone away and some have been blended in. Communications is now blended into stakeholders, procurement is gone, and what is left of it can be found in governance and quality. Also, what is left of it can be found in governance. And then we have the table that everyone loves to hate or hates to love. And this is the 40 process matrix. And I will be covering this on the channel. But just at a very high level, you can see that we no longer have integration. It's now called governance. We no longer have procurement. We no longer have quality. And you can see that the communications area has blended into stakeholder. So stakeholder has a few more processes there. And that is the lay of the land as far as PMBOK 8. PMBOK 8 also has now 6 guiding principles as opposed to 12 that were in PMBOK 7, adopting a holistic view, seeing the big picture, focusing on value, which is very important, embedding quality. You know, PMI's language changed to be more value and benefit specific, being an accountable leader, building an empowered culture, and integrating sustainability. In fact, under sustainability, we have the sustainability pyramid, as you can see here, and that is to avoid negative outcomes, minimize, restore, compensate, or offset. The best choice is to avoid. If you cannot avoid, then minimize. If you cannot minimize, then you got to restore the sustainability or compensate it somehow. So these are all very good. I like the addition there with sustainability. It's definitely a hot topic. You're also going to be tested in the world of Agile. Don't forget, if you read the small print, the exam is now 60% Agile and hybrid and only 40% predictive. It's very different. So when you're approaching the questions, always think people over processes and tools, working product over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. Now, I know that this looks very simple, but a lot of people get these wrong. Also, the 12 principles in the Agile Manifesto is key. You can go on down to agilemanifesto.org and go through these, but at a very high level, I'll go through some of my favorites. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable product. That is number 1. Everything rests on that. Also, I love continuous improvement, the Kaizen mindedness, number 12. At regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. So those are big. Moving on to the world of Scrum. Scrum is the most important framework in the matter. We can argue all day long about the roles of 5 minutes to 3 other facts. Right? Kanban. To do, doing, done, understanding the breakdown, the work in progress limits, understanding the concept of flow, cycle time, lead time, throughput. This is language you got to know for the exam. Again, we have the 33% and 8 tasks. I'll take you through the tasks really quick. Number one, you got to develop a common vision. Where there is no vision, the people perish. So you got to understand, why are we here? What is this project about? You get that from your sponsor, from your stakeholders, and you make sure that tapers into the project charter. Next, we have manage conflicts. The Thomas Kalman conflict mode instrument of avoid the conflict, reconcile, compromise or reconcile, force or direct, collaborate, problem solve, all that stuff, you're going to get that again. Number three, lead the project team. My mentor, John Maxwell, would say the true measure of leadership is influence. And you, as a project manager, you will be tested to the limit on influence. So you got to understand what your role is from an agile and hybrid perspective and from a predictive perspective. Number four is engage stakeholders. You got to build that trust and involve stakeholders in the journey. Number five is align stakeholder expectations, get everyone headed in the right direction. And number six, manage stakeholder expectations. It's one thing to align the expectations, but that's not the end. You got to keep the expectations realistic. Number seven is to help ensure knowledge transfer, tacit knowledge, explicit knowledge, lessons learned, retrospectives, it all lives here. Remember, this is a hybrid and agile as well as predictive exam. Number eight, plan and manage communication. Big one. The project manager spends 70 to 90% of the time doing this. And that is the very first domain, people. Vision, conflicts, leadership, stakeholders, knowledge, and communications. As you can see, our highest priority is really to satisfy the customer. Domain two, the one people cry about the most on today's exam. This is the process domain. Let's jump straight in. The process domain is 10 things you need to know. Let me break them down for you very simply. Number one, integrate your plan. Make sure schedule, scope, and cost and everything else is talking to everything else. Whether you're in the world of agile or hybrid or predictive, it makes no difference. Even in the world of agile, we have our scope, flexible, we have a fixed time box. So understanding the mindedness of integration is still important on this exam. Number two, you got to develop and manage that scope. We've talked about this, the telescope analogy. Make sure you're seeing it clearly and make sure you understand scope. Value, value-based delivery. The PMI is big on this now. Value is your net benefits, planning and managing of the resources, planning and managing of the procurements. Number six, planning and managing finance. Number seven, plan and optimize quality. Number eight, plan and manage schedule. Number nine, evaluate project status. And number 10, manage project closure. There's a lot of minutia I could go into, but I won't go into the details here. We'll talk about that another day. Remember, this is just a Nano Bootcamp. Here's your final domain, domain three, business environment. This is 26% of the exam, and you've got 8 tasks. Let's cover them real quick. The first one is all about governance. The PMI once said governance is a framework within which authority is exercised. So people need to know, what is my stated authority? What do I have the power to do? And what don't I have the power to do? We go into task two, plan and manage project compliance. You do want to be in compliance under most circumstances. So you got to understand compliance and look at it as a team sport. Number three, manage and control changes. There will be changes, whether at the project level or at the task level, and you as a project manager, you got to manage them. You got to make sure that verbal requests are translated into change requests formally. Number four, remove impediments and manage issues. You often hear us talk about impediments, obstacles, and blockers. An impediment slows you down, an obstacle is in your way, and then you have blockers that stop you dead in your tracks. All three are the bad guys. You got to manage them as a project manager, as a scrum master. And it's not just the job of the project manager and the scrum master, it's everybody's job. Number five, plan and manage risk. An uncertain event that can impact your project positively or negatively. You got to do everything from planning risk management to identifying risk to planning how you're going to manage the risk and doing a qualitative and quantitative risk analysis, implementing the responses, and so on. Number six, continuous improvement. Continuous improvement is all about the Kaizen mindedness. Don't just wait till the end of the project or the phase. Continuously improve like today. Did you know that the daily scrum is a continuous improvement meeting? It's a sync up meeting. All throughout the process of evaluation, you're thinking of improvements, not just at the end. Same as project management. Number seven, support organizational change. Ask the question, how can my project affect the firm, and how can the firm affect my project? Number eight, evaluate marketplace, but geopolitical and business at large, because some of those events, wars and force majeure, could shut down your project. So keep your eye on all these things. And that, my friends, is our Nano. Don't think this is a PMBOK 8 binge. No, it's not. PMBOK 8 is good for your understanding of general project management, but when rubber meets road, you are going to get situational questions. Now, I want to encourage you, for those of you that haven't, going down to pmradio.org. It's a free website, and I've put a boatload of free stuff in there. And I will also be increasing the scope of this website to include a simulator, to include an ECO adventure. Let's click on this. So here we have the people, process, and business. And if you click on any of those tasks, it asks you a question. This is a very easy one. Team members are pulling in different directions because each person interprets the project goal differently. What is the PM's best first action? If you click on escalate the misalignment and hit submit answer, it tells you that's not the right answer and why that is the right answer. So you go again and you try to answer the question differently, and hopefully you'll get the question right and you'll be able to move to the next step. So it's a fun little game that we put in here. In addition to this, we have other games and other features such as this. You can explore the content outline for yourself. You can click on it and kind of just get to know the content outline, because a lot of people don't understand that the content outline is the blueprint for the PMP exam. So I encourage you, going down to pmradio.org. We also have the simulator here. People simulate different environments, different projects, everything from engineering to healthcare to IT. This will become open and available to members who subscribe. Now, just an example, these are the kinds of questions you get. They are, and boom, you got it incorrect. Move to the next one, but understand why you got the questions wrong. Okay. So I encourage you, going down to pmradio.org. We have PMP Student, and we've got so many things in PMP Student. We got podcasts, we got puzzle games, we got video tutorials, and all of these are free, and we're in these once the current exam goes away. So if I were you, I would jump in, I would subscribe, and I would just keep watching pmradio.org. To those of you that came through, I did miss some of your chats, and I apologize for that. We had a few friends come in. Uh, is this the room on homework? I don't think I gave anybody any homework. Which homework? Okay. And we had Blueberry and a few others come through. Well, I appreciate you coming through. I'm sorry I didn't get your chats in the beginning. And also our friends on Instagram, thank you for coming through as well. But for the PMP, it's a Nano Bootcamp. I hope it gave you some insights. If you have questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You take care and all the best on the PMP exam. You can do it. Just need to put in the work, put in the energy, put in that focus. And before I got into this, I was about giving you a few more tips. I don't want to forget those tips that I wanted to share with you. So let me share the tips really quick before we jump off. Okay. So master the 60 split. Think scenario, not definition. The exam is not a definitional exam. You'll be very fortunate to get a couple, if that, right? It's pretty much scenario driven. Answer as a PMP would. Remember, you are a project management professional. Change control is not negotiable. Remember that? Servant leadership is your default. You are a servant. You're there to serve. You're there to help. Surface problems as early as possible. Don't hide the bad news. Value delivery is more valuable than compliance. If you're not delivering value, it's problematic. But project is on track, but no longer creating business value. The PM must bring that to attention. And that's why business as a domain is so important now. Put on that business hat. First action should the PM have done? What should the PM do now? What should the PM do next? Based on this data, what should they do? Okay. I hope that gave you some insights and some clarity and some. You take care, my friends. See you